gather back in this space, we have moved from Shabbat into the week, and we know what awaits us this week. What awaits us is a new year. And so we come back into this space preparing to be transformed, preparing for the year to turn into a new year, preparing for ourselves to be transformed, preparing for the space to be transformed, to be renewed, preparing ourselves for everything to be different, and yet at the same time mindful that that change only comes through effort, through our willingness to look deep within ourselves. So we turn in Selichot, we turn in penitence to page 2 in our Dapei Tefillah, in our prayer booklets, as we join with our cantor and song. Page 2.
Yai dai, yai dai, yai dai, 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 yai dai, 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 yai dai, 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 yai dai, dai, yai dai, dai, dai. The crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Now is the time for turning. Now is the time for confession and renewal. Now is the time to atone, to be at one with God and with ourselves. Now is the time for Selichot, for penitential prayers. For centuries, our people recited prayers of remorse and penitence as the days of awe approach. Our Selichot prayers increase in intensity and fervor as our most sacred day, Yom Kippur, draws near. Selichot prepares us for the majesty and awe of the sacred season. Our prayers this evening reflect upon the ultimate questions of human life. What are we? Why do we live? What can we believe? For what can we strive? This evening, we share together the profound and stirring tradition of Selichot. As we share, may we grow toward greater readiness for the high holidays, toward fuller self-knowledge, toward renewed confidence to face the trials and challenges of the new year. We continue in the middle of page 5. Middle of page 5.
The old year is dying. A new year struggles to be born. A Jew does not slide into a new year in a jagged fog of forced hilarity. We kindle that candle of God, which is conscience, and search out our inward parts. We measure our is against our ought to be. We know right well that we are greater than we are. The sublimity of this holy season is the renewed revelation of the possibilities God's love has implanted within us. We confess our deficiencies, our failures, our disloyalties in sorrow and remorse, but without despair. For the grace of this inner knowledge turns us to the greatness of God's justice, mercy, and love. Out of the broken fragments of our heart, we build our sacred altar, and we are healed, reconciled to God, to each other, and to ourselves. The new year will be new on the calendar for our souls as well.
turn my eyes to the mountains, from where will come my help? My help comes from Adonai. Adonai will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. The guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, neither slumbers nor sleeps. Esaenai el harim, me'ayin yavo Ezri, Ezri me'im Adonai. I turn my eyes to the mountains, from where will come my help? My help comes from Adonai. Ezri me'im Adonai. My help comes from Adonai.
On page 6. O incognito God, anonymous Lord, with what name shall I call you? Where shall I discover the syllable, the mystic word that shall invoke you from eternity? Is that sweet sound the heart makes, clocking life your appellation? Is the noise of thunder it? Is it the hush of peace, the sound of strife? I have no title for your glorious throne, and for your presence not a golden word, only that wanting you, by that alone I do invoke you, knowing I am heard.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu Kekedem.
Together, Eternal God, I do not want the prayers I have recited to be in vain. I do not want the sentiments I feel today to fade away after the holidays. I want Judaism to be part of my life throughout this year. Therefore, I resolve that I will try to live by the teachings of the Torah in all that I do. I resolve that I will be loyal to my fellow Jews, wherever they may be. I pledge that I will maintain my love for the land of Israel and my willingness to work to keep it safe and secure. I pledge that I will work for the achievement of true democracy and will give equal dignity to all your children. I promise that I will love and care for my family. I will try to give them not only material things, but time, love, and guidance. I will try to be an example for my children of the right way in which to live. I promise that I will try to conduct my work in an ethical way, that I will strive to improve my character and to overcome my faults. Help me, O God, to keep these resolves. When I forget, forgive me. When I falter, remind me. When I weaken, correct me. Be with me in my efforts.
Avinu Vaneinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masmim, Aseh imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Aseh imanu tzedaka v'chesed ve'oshienu. Aseh imanu tzedaka v'chesed, Aseh imanu tzedaka v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu,
Choneinu
Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu
Praise me, says God, I will know that you love me. Curse me, I will know that you love me. Praise me or curse me, I will know that you love me.
Sing out my graces, says God. Raise your fist against me and revile, says God. Sing my graces or revile. Reviling is also praise, says God.
But if you sit fenced off in your apathy, entrenched and I don't give a damn, says God. If you look at the stars and yawn, says God. If you see suffering and don't cry out, if you don't praise and don't revile, then I created you in vain, says God.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Venashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu kekedem.
We are your people.
You are our guide.
We are your children.
You are our parent.
We are your possession.
You are our portion.
We are your flock.
You are our shepherd.
We are your vineyard.
You are our keeper.
We are your beloved.
You are our friend.
O God and God of our ancestors, may our prayer come before you, and do not ignore our entreaty. We are not so arrogant and stubborn as to declare before you that we are wholly righteous and without sin. Surely we have sinned.
Shema koleinu, Adonai Eloheinu, chus verachem aleinu. Shema koleinu, Adonai Eloheinu, chus verachem aleinu. Vekabel berachamim uveratzon et tefilateinu, כי אל שומע תפילות בתחנונים מתן, Lai, la, 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 ya, la, 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 ya, la, 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 ya, la, 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 ya, la, 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 ya, la, 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 la. Die, 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 ja, da, da, die, die. Ja, da, 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 die, die. Ja, da, 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 die, die. Shema.
Men and women are the messengers of God. They are neither angels nor emanations, only people like you, in whom God has planted a striving for justice and freedom and peace. Inspiration and dedication and every inward joy are the gifts of God, who makes us equal with equal love and appoints us, every one, God's messengers and workers, to bring another springtime to the world. Listen to your own inner conversation. You will learn that when you work for justice, you are bringing redemption. When you work for freedom and peace, you are praying for salvation. When you accept and love another person, the Messiah draws near.
Our God, God of our mothers and fathers, grant that our prayers may reach you. Do not be deaf to our pleas, for we are not so arrogant and stiff-necked as to say before you, we are perfect and have not sinned. Rather do we confess, we have gone astray, we have sinned, we have transgressed.
Ay, 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 Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi, He'evinu, Vehirshanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tafalnu Shaker. Ay, 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 Ya'atznu ra, Kizavnu, Latznu, Maradnu, Niatznu, Sararnu, Avinu, Pashanu, Sararnu, Kishinu Oref. Ay, 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 Rashanu, Shichatnu, Tiavnu, Ta'inu, Titanu. Ay, 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 ay. The sins of arrogance, bigotry, and cynicism, of defeat and egotism, flattery, greed, injustice, and jealousy.
Some of us have kept grudges, were lustful, malicious, or narrow-minded.
Others were obstinate, possessive, quarrelsome, rancorous, or selfish.
Now may it be your will, Adonai, God of all generations, to pardon all our sins, to forgive all our wrongdoings, and to blot out all our transgressions.
Al chet shechatanu lefanecha, we sin against you, O God, when we sin against ourselves and our failures of truth.
We ask forgiveness for using the sins of others to excuse our own, for denying our responsibility for our own misfortunes, for refusing to admit our share in the troubles of others,
For
condemning
in our children
the faults we tolerate in ourselves, for passing judgment without knowledge of the facts, for knowing the price of things but forgetting their value, for teaching our children everything but the meaning of life.
We sin against you, O God, when we sin against ourselves and our failures of love.
we
We ask forgiveness for confusing love and lust, for withholding love to control those we claim to love,
for
shunting to aside those whose age is an embarrassment to us, for giving ourselves the fleeting pleasure of inflicting lasting hurts, for the cynicism which eats away our faith in the possibility of love. We sin against you, O God, when we sin against ourselves and our failures of justice.
We
ask forgiveness
for light concern for the heavy chains of poverty of the poor,
for the sin of prejudice in judging others by outward appearance, for the sin of denying our prejudices, for the sin of separating ends from means, for the sin of lacking civic courage, for the sin of silence and indifference, for running to evil but limping to do good, for the sin of war against ourselves and violence done in despoiling the earth, water, and air. For all these sins, O forgiving God, teach us to forgive ourselves and help us to overcome them.
Ve'al kulam Eloah Selichot Selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu Ve'al kulam Eloah Selichot Selach lanu mechalanu Selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu.
Let's read together. Your fellow human being is a mirror for you. If there is love and compassion in your soul, you will see the goodness in others. If you see a blemish in another, it is your own imperfection you encounter. Take careful note of the flaws you perceive in others. There is a lesson for you. They are your own flaws set before you, a reminder of your own spiritual work.
Avinu imenu, chonenu v'aneinu. Avinu imenu, chonenu v'aneinu, ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Avinu imenu, chonenu v'aneinu. Avinu imenu, chonenu v'aneinu, ki ein banu masim.
We offer up whatever prayer the heart may prompt.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun Adonai. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun Adonai. Erech Apayim Verav Chesed Ve'emet Adonai. Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Nosei Avon va'fesha, V'chata v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun Adonai. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun Adonai.
It is not easy to forgive God. It takes huge effort. It is painful, contradictory, and maddening. The human suffering that surrounds us feels utterly unforgivable. But I will forgive God, because I do not want to write off the relationship, because I feel there's too much to be lost by simply walking away, because despite the pain, sorrow, and suffering, I want my universe full of miracles, not void of them. I want to believe a voice still calls out from Sinai, from heaven. That is why I will forgive God. Despite it all, I want to live my life in praise and awe, in wonder and hope, even if I'm wrong, even if at the end there is nothing but darkness.
We join together in Oseh Shalom, after which we have the chance to change over our Torah mantles, which I will explain after we sing together.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen.
At this time, I would invite all who are gathered here to join us up on the bima in front of the ark. If you need a little bit of assistance getting up, we have the ramp, so I'd encourage people to use that if you need it. We'll join each other up in front of the ark. You want this? we can get
It doesn't
pretty
have to
tight.
be a semicircle, like, we can just sit and stand.
Can we have some more people move on this side, because we're going to have a couple of chairs come up?
It's all good.
Right. I was thinking about what you told me.
This is something we've been doing the last 8 years or so. Torah is the heart of a congregation. Rabbi Eric Yaffe said a very long time ago, it is at the center of all we do. And now, this is our last chance to look at our Torahs in their colored mantles, to see them in their diversity. But as we prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we have a chance to prepare our Torah scrolls as well, so that when the congregation comes Wednesday night, Thursday morning, they will see these Torahs resplendent in white. So what we're going to do now is we have 6 Torahs. These 3, their mantles are this way. These 3, their mantles are that way. We're going to pass the Torahs out. As each Torah comes out, if somebody could step forward to receive it and take it to the chair where its mantle is waiting, sit down with it. And if a crowd could gather around each Torah to help change those mantles over, what you're going to do is you're going to take the mantle off, leave the wimple, leave the belt on for the moment, put the new belt on, and then take the old belt off.
We've done this before.
40 days, 40 days.
Those of us, if you've ever changed a diaper for a boy, you get the idea, right? And then put the new mantle on, and then just leave the blue or purple or whatever color mantle it is on the chair, and then bring it back into the ark. We're going to do this collectively.
We'll help you.
This is an act of trust. It's an act of trust. It's an act of faith. It's an act of transformation, not only for the Torahs, but for ourselves. So we're going to start.
Do you usually sing when you do it?
We actually, not so much, but if you
Would you
have
like
a
to?
song,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
If you have something, please.
Hannah's going to start leading us in song, and I'm going to start taking Torahs out, so somebody
for it.
come forward to take a Torah.
I don't know, something high hard. How about the Nigun?
Come on, basses. If somebody wants to harmonize, that would be awesome.
Let's take a moment to look in our ark, to breathe deep, to reflect on what we see. Will our sins be turned as white as snow? Will our actions be clean? Will we wipe our slate to start fresh? Or will we carry heavy weights into the new year? Let's take a moment to silently reflect. Take in one more breath. Last sound we will hear in this space will be the sound of the shofar, calling us to the new year, after which I ask us to leave this space in silence. Tekiah Gedolah.